a salesperson, what is a form of sales sabotage that you can create for yourself and cause a bunch of problems and end up losing deals? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California. A perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Now, here's the thing. I got this sales guy, Mitch, that I talk to frequently, and he relayed a story to me, which I am going to relay to you today. And so Mitch was out buying furniture and started chatting up the whole process with a salesperson. And she says, Mitch, what industry are you in? And he said, I do, fill in the blank. And she says, oh, I hope you don't work for XYZ company. They're not very good. And Mitch has got this pretty cool personality. He just says what he's thinking and pulls back his shirt and goes, yeah, I work for XYZ company. They're really good. I work there. And so the lady had to backpedal. And then, so going through the conversation again, the lady said something about politics, to which was very offensive to Mitch. And I don't mean like offensive like he was going to go home and go, boo-hoo, I gotta cry, but it was just the opposite. Now, so here's the thing. The reason why I'm telling you about my friend Mitch the closer is because here's what happens. You as a salesperson and me as a salesperson, we have all of our own beliefs, we have all of our own opinions, we have all of our own ideas, but there's a place to talk about them and there's a place to not talk about them. So here's what happens is when you hit strong rapport with somebody, when you have the capability of having conversation, or you're searching for strong rapport, sometimes you'll say things that you shouldn't do. And so this is why I'm a huge fan of saying sometimes rapport really does hurt the sales process. Now, I didn't ask Mitch what kind of information, what kind of rapport that he had with this salesperson, but my guess is that she was trying to connect. She was trying to hit that point where she's like, look, I'm like you. Me and you, we're similar, right? And so one of the things and one of the problems that causes is, what if you're not? You know, she said some completely opposite things of what my friend was, does and doesn't do and what he likes and doesn't like. So this is a good, strong reminder for you that not everybody has the same beliefs as you. Not everybody likes the same things as you. And, when it comes to, there's a couple of things, right? Politics, religion, like even if you play for the same team, even if you have the same beliefs, there's going to be a point where you disagree with your buyer, and your buyer's going to be like, I knew it, you were a fraud, you were a cheat, you were a liar, okay? So if you're out in the sales process and you're like, I got to go out and build rapport, I got to talk about family, occupation, recreation, material possessions, alliances and locations, like formal. Notice like politics isn't in there. Notice religion isn't in there. There's like a reason for that, right? And then here's the other thing. If you're going to talk bad about a company industry that you don't sell for, right, and it's not your industry, you might want to make sure that the company that you're about to talk poorly about, the person you're meeting with doesn't work for them, okay? So I see this so much. And here's a couple of scenarios that I see this in. One, when a salesperson's struggling and they're grasping for straws and they're looking for things to talk about. Two, when they're trying to be funny, right? It's like humor doesn't always translate. I've got a goofy sense of humor. Some of the comedians that I listen to, they're not always mainstream, but sometimes like the things that they say are they're bound to offend somebody, okay? Three, when a salesperson's desperate, when they need to close some deals and the deals aren't happening, the pressure's on them. Four, when they've built too much rapport. And like I just shared with you, too much rapport is not always a good thing because it usually means that you're going to slip up and you're going to say something you didn't need to say, or you're going to end up at a buddy close where the person's like, come on, Scott, do I really need to buy today? Do I? Come on, buddy pal, right? So there's really 4 reasons why people slip up in the rapport process and things you got to know about to talk about and not talk about. There's plenty of things that I don't talk about when I'm in a sales call. Like I don't care for football. I like Brazilian beach volleyball, right? That's my thing. But I don't go into a sales presentation like, yes, look at these pictures of these amazing athletes playing women's beach volleyball, right? Wrong thing to do. Or, yay, look at all the things that I like in life, right? You're going to see a lot of pictures of me near the beach because like nobody's really going to get offended by that. But I'm not going to talk about the things that I like. And very rarely do I ever bring them up on the YouTube channel because like you could be like, Scott, I really like your sales training, but you and I don't get along on the same ideas and content and things, right? At some point, you and I We would butt heads politically. You and I, we would butt heads philosophically. And there's even a point where you and I, we're going to butt heads on what we believe that sales is. You and I would be like, you know what? We just don't have the same belief on this idea. And it's okay. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Right? I'm not. I mean, I could, but I'm not. So, just so you know, if you've made this mistake, because like, boom, I have, like, in any of those 4 reasons, I've made that mistake. If you made the mistake, make a note in the box below. Yeah, like, yeah, I've made this mistake. I've overtalked myself out of a sell. I've said silly and dumb things. We have all done it as salespeople, right? And here's what happens is the closer that you get to the sale, and right after you get to the sale is going to be the epicenter. Like, your brain is like, I'm almost done. I'm free. I'm released. And paperwork's getting done. And like, all of a sudden, maybe we shouldn't do business together. Like, I remember probably 12 years ago, I was so excited to go to Hawaii. I was talking to the buyer, I was having a conversation with them, and like my brain went into why I am so great mode. Like, I am the greatest thing since sliced bread. And contract was almost done. All they needed to do was sign on the dotted line, and I talked myself right out of a sale. Just talked myself straight out of a sale. So it is possible, not impossible. It is possible to talk yourself right out of a sales call and lose the deal. So politics, religion, beliefs about companies, like especially if it's a company that, you know, is pretty well known, like you gotta zip it. Just zip it. Leave your beliefs sometimes for after business, and sometimes you gotta bite your tongue. There's times where people talk to me and I'm like, oh my goodness, how can you believe that? And they probably listen to me sometimes and be like, oh my goodness, how could you believe that? Pay attention, it can cause you a lot of problems, okay? So you got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says, Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video, you should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.